Haydn, take us away, brother.
Episode number 2. Here we are again.
Episode number 2.
Feeling excited and a little bit anxious.
What a reception we got from the first one, right?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to Charlie and Angus and Helen and their brother Adam.
Yeah, really nice.
Wonderful feedback and surprisingly enjoyed by our listeners.
Yeah.
And I say surprisingly, when I listened to myself in the past, I hated hearing my own voice. And I listened to our episode and I was like, wow, that was really good. Yeah, and that was the feedback we got from everyone.
Yeah, it was nice. People were saying that it was a conversation that it felt like you were part of. That's what I got, which was really nice.
And everyone brought their own unique response to whatever was stimulated within them about death and life and what's been happening to, and profoundly moving and touching to hear their own stories and what's going on in their lives.
Yeah, that's the magic.
Profound.
That's the real magic of having a conversation like this together. But for everyone knowing that the conversation is actually, there are lots of other seats at this table, right?
It's just a cool way to be.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
We are in the Brewing Brothers down on Harbour Arm in Folkestone. We have a pint each in front of us.
And it's beautiful weather outside.
The sun is shining. It is windy, so we sat inside.
Yes.
There is some music in the background.
Which you could either jump along to.
I'll be annoyed by the whole
or spend the whole time going, I wish that there wasn't that tiny amount of music.
Why do these bloody amateurs sing in a noisy environment? Have they never done a podcast before? And the answer is yes.
The answer is, yeah, we don't know what we're doing.
Which is pretty much how we live our lives.
Oh, yeah. You just need to try it with with enough confidence and the right intention.
An old boss said to me, he was a tree surgeon or climbing arborist, they call it in Australia. He said, Haydn, most of the time it's confidence over skill. And I really connected with that.
Yeah, I can.
I really connected with that.
I think the people that know me well would echo that too. Yeah. How much skill does Seb have versus how much confidence?
Plenty of skill now.
Yeah,
plenty of skill. Okay, now fields.
Yeah. Plenty of skill in our fields. But also a lot of confidence.
A lot of confidence. People come to me for confidence.
Yeah.
Purely that. I think they're like, Hayden, you're so confident. How do I have that?
Try it.
Yeah. Become a reckless risk taker and survive.
Yes.
That's how. If it doesn't kill me, it makes me stronger.
Yeah. You know what? Even asking that question is the first step towards the kind of confidence you're looking for. That first question of, how do I get the confidence to be there? You're like, you already have the confidence to ask me, so you are so much closer to that than you think you are. Yeah. Just watch, and then try it.
Do it.
And then the first time you do it, you're gonna suck. It's gonna feel terrible.
Yes. And Adam, my brother, you wanted us to introduce ourselves. I think we kind of are the way we're talking right now.
Yeah, we definitely are. But we could do some formal introductions.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
And maybe we found the subject for the day.
Okay.
Confidence.
We
How to
have.
develop confidence. What is confidence?
What is confidence?
I would love to talk about that.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
There we go. We've got it. We've got our subject. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'll go. I'll start.
Or do we introduce each other?
That's fun.
That would be fun.
Hayden, tell them all about me.
Seb. I met Seb in February this year, 2026.
Yeah.
And what struck me about you were, firstly, your presence. You have an enthusiasm, a twinkle in your eye, and a spark in your smile that is noticeable. You bring an energy to the room, and it's fun, it's playful, it's uplifting, it's enjoyable, it's a little bit cheeky, and it's deeply insightful. I noticed that you see things other people aren't seeing within the group. what's happening within the interactions between people. So you have a phenomenal ability to see the space and how each person is contributing to the space, and you're able to call it out and question it. That brings attention to the people who don't even know what's going on in the space or how what they're bringing to the space. And I as a personal coach where I work with the individual, that was fascinating to me because every now and then I like to think I know it all and I'm the smartest guy in the room, you know?
Yeah, I know.
And then all of a sudden I wasn't. And I was intrigued. So I suppose I was attracted to your confidence in the room.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And I saw the yeah, there's something powerful here for me to gain through
Nice.
knowing this guy. Yeah.
Wow.
So Seb was born into a team building company
Yes.
and has developed a passion of team development, which is not the same thing as team building. Team building is a bit of the rah-rah motivation, you know, trust falls, all that stuff. Whereas team is more about who are you being within the team? What is the ideal team? What does that look like? And how do we cause that? He goes into the reflection and conversation that causes a team, not just their motivation and hype that team building brings. And he is an expert. He was a part of his father's company who started the company 33 years ago. And he's grown up in the environment of team building and he's become a team development specialist.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you are listening to this and you have a team and you know they are not performing to their full potential and you want them to, Seb is the man to talk to.
Wow, I couldn't have paid you to do something better.
Invoices coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all
Oh.
IP.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to drag and drop everything you said, put it straight into my bio on
Oh,
everything.
wicked, man.
Oh, thank you for that.
Isn't it fascinating how others can often describe us better than we can ourselves?
Yeah, I think so. I like to. No, I know that the people who will be listening to this who do know me, they'll hear echoes of their own descriptions of me in what you've said too, and I'm sure that the same will happen as I describe you to the people who know you as well.
Let's do it.
Let's
I
do
wanna
it.
hear it.
So, Haydn, who is Haydn? He's transformational, really. That's how I describe you, Haydn. And I'll go back to that first moment where we met each other. It was just a networking event where you walk into these spaces and you have no idea what to expect, and you're very often full with a room of people who are hesitant to speak, hesitant to be able to voice what they want to. And through the conversations I was having, there was this something happening in my peripheral, and that was you just hovering around people, listening, contributing to the conversation, and giving them the energy that they were looking for. You were listening and observing what they were saying. You were really taking it in.
Is there anything in particular you remembered I said? Can you bring it to life for people?
One thing I can bring to life. You were talking to a particular client, and actually, the way you got my attention immediately is you were talking with them about what they were looking for, and you stopped them, and you went, "Oh, you want this guy?" And I was mid conversation. You just tapped me on the shoulder, and I'd met you, maybe 2 minutes before that, and had just given you my spiel on what the business is. And you immediately went, "Talk to this guy. I'd love to talk to you. I think you want him." And the reason I bring that up is to say that you were looking and you were hearing what they were talking about, I'm going to put like speech marks on what they needed. And you were immediately able to hone in on it, question it, and then point them in the right direction. And I feel that my experience with you is that kind of guidance. It's not I'm going to tell you to go here, you should do this, you shouldn't do this. It very much is I'm going to bring something to your attention, and then we're going to explore together how it lands. And I can tell you for nothing that when you leave a conversation with Haydn, you leave it feeling positively and powerfully charged. You leave that conversation going, I know what I need to do. And I didn't beforehand. And even if you leave it saying, I don't know what that particular need is, it appears in front of you. And it appears in front of you because you have this great skill to be able to listen, hear, and then pinpoint what the person's really saying. And then from that, your ducks just start to line up in the row that you want them to. And you start going, I need another call with Haydn. It's a shift of mindset. That's what it is. You create a mindset for people that really points them in the trajectory that they want to go in. So
Yeah.
you understand people, you understand the person.
Oh yeah.
Really wholly. And there's a real
When I was a boy, I was fascinated with how things work. Fascinated. Engines, glue, trees, universe. And I at some point I must have realized, like, fuck, I have no idea how I work, you know?
Yeah.
What's causing me to be the way I am?
Yeah,
and that
totally.
became, for me, the unexplored ocean.
Yeah, okay.
We say, you know, the ocean's less explored than space.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. It's like, yeah, what about the depths of your soul and your being? Has that been explored? That's the most unexplored space on Earth.
Okay.
It's humanity for humanity. How do we tick? What causes us?
Right.
Yeah. And that became my thing at some point. If I don't know how I work, how's my life going to be?
Right, okay.
If I don't know how I cause my results, how my decisions are made, all of my feelings and emotions, what's actually running me, what good in life am I going to be?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, if you don't understand how a car functions, what can you do with it?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's a certain understanding that has you be effective with a car and it become useful. And there's mastery of a car, like a mechanic. He can listen to a sound and he knows where to look. Most people, from my view, go through life never discovering how they work. So they don't even know when they have issues. They're driving along with 4 flat tires. That's the normal. That's what they're used to.
And they've been doing it for so long that they say,
Yeah,
this is just my experience. And then we go back to what I'm saying when you're like, I don't know what I need. And suddenly, before you know it, after talking to you, they drive past that air pump station and they go,
well, I ain't flat tires.
oh my God. Yeah, they go, I need some air.
Yeah.
And it's not that you've taken the keys yourself and driven them there. It's just that when the opportunity arose, you gave them the confidence, maybe. Yeah. You gave them the opportunity to go, it's here.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
So that's Haydn, everybody. He is.
Thank you. And when you were sharing about me,
Okay.
what was showing up for me was, hurry up, Seb, this is going to bore our listeners.
Okay, I hear you.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And I have no idea if that's the case. The people who were bored have probably already stopped listening.
Yes.
Is that just a me thing that I don't like hearing about myself? Because that's very true.
I think it's possible. Yeah, I think that it goes back to you listening to your own voice for the first time and saying, oh, how does that feel for me? And you ended up loving it. Maybe upon the listen through of this podcast, you might go,
oh, that was quite nice.
That was quite nice. Thanks for that.
I was too with my own reaction to you.
Yeah.
To be able to be with what you're sharing.
Yeah. There's also truth in some of all of our quirks as people. And that's how I like to paint a picture. And we know sometimes you're like, cool, how about you just give me
get to the point.
Get to the point, Seb. That's totally there.
But you love the painting of the picture.
I do.
Whereas I love the picture.
You're like, print it out for me, please.
You love the whole
baby.
Oh, and energy and being one with the painting. I'm like, give me the damn painting.
Well, I'll come back when you've painted it, Seb.
Yeah, right.
It's totally there.
That's where we're the yin and the yang in that sense.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you there.
Good.
So, confidence.
Yes. What a subject.
What a subject. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's something that I think challenges all of us. We all struggle with it at times. For some of us, it is a natural tool we use without thinking. Take what we're doing, for example. We are sat in an open space having a quite a vulnerable conversation
Yes.
in a room that allows for this conversation to be heard by others. So I think there might be other people who would be sat there going, can't believe they've had the confidence to do it.
True.
Right? They've gone out and they've sat there, they've put the microphones on, and they're going to talk. So
there is this. When I was younger, I wasn't confident. I was so, I don't even know if shy is the right word. Afraid.
okay.
I had got a bar job, a pub job in Australia when I was 19. And in Australia, you don't just work the bar, you walk around, you pick up people's glasses, you clean up. It's all in one. I was so afraid of eye-to-eye contact.
Okay.
I couldn't do the bar job. It
Yeah.
took me maybe a year to build the confidence to stand behind the bar and serve customers.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got fired from that job. I got really drunk one night and the security guards carried me out while I had the job there. Yeah. No, I didn't get drunk while working. I went there on my night off.
Right, okay.
Just made a fool of myself.
They saw you at your worst and went,
Everyone, all the locals saw me. The security guards four security guards carried me out. And my boss went the next day, Hayden, you don't have a job here anymore. And my dad was there.
okay.
I was with my dad that day and the boss called, said, Hayden, come in, we need to have a chat. And I had the, no, here we go. So I walk into the pub with my dad. He sits off on another table. I sit down with the boss and my boss gruels. And he was a powerful, confident man. He'd grown up in pubs, so he knew how to handle people.
Okay.
Drunk men, particularly big drunk men. He was a powerful man. And he fired me. He said, don't come back. And I left with my head hung low with my dad. Like this all happened in front of my dad, and I'm 20 years old. And,
Okay, yeah.
And I'm driving home, and my boss calls me back. And I answered the phone on speaker. My dad's driving the car. And he said, Hayden, we've had a think. You're a good man. Come back. We're going to talk about your job. You messed up. Come back and we're going to talk. And Dad said, and I didn't want to go back. And Dad said, no, Hayden, you're going to go back. I don't think he said it that directly, but he said, go back, have the conversation. And this time, look him in the eye.
Wow.
Yeah. Dad said, when a man's talking to you, you look him in the eye. That was my dad through and through. Taught me how to be a man. And I went back and I spoke to the boss and he did give me my job back. I went on to be a manager of that pub. There came a day when my boss was angry and he was in the office and he had a go at me and he said, if you don't like my opinion, well, you can think about leaving. And I said in front of the other managers, you know what? I will. And that afternoon, he said, Hayden, if you can stand up to me, you can stand up to anyone. I want you to be my manager. I want you to be my right-hand man. And I took it on. I said, yeah, you know what? That's a brilliant opportunity to be a manager, to learn how to be responsible.
Okay.
And that's where I suppose I started to develop confidence. Yeah, I think, and the first thing people often say to me is, wow, you're so confident. I don't think about it.
Well, I mean, that's the first thing that I thought when you said I was so shy.
I was
was like, whoa, how is that?
People in the eyes.
How is that possible?
Yeah. I was terrified of people.
So,
still am. I'm still scared of people.
really?
Yeah. Like there's a shift when I leave my front door. It's like all of a sudden I tighten up.
Okay.
And if I see someone walking down the street and I'm walking down the street, I'll lose my breath. And then I get past them and I go, like, and it's it's below my conscious level. I'll notice it once I'm past them that I haven't been breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that brings you comfort to avoid that, or to bring you back down after those moments?
I haven't even cracked that.
Okay.
What I do these days is remind myself that I'm a big, beautiful man,
Yeah.
and that they're not my enemies, they're my friends, they're my people. I have to have this dialogue with myself
Okay.
ongoingly whenever I'm in public. I mean, every day that's going on for me in public spaces. No one cares about how you look, Haydn. They're not thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves. These are my friends, these are people in my culture, they would like common value, like, oh, every day going through that. I haven't cracked. If that is something that is simply inherent in human nature, that we are that way, or that I've got something going on that I haven't discovered yet. I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I can share with you my experience of confidence, because it differs. Maybe we can,
Okay.
maybe together we can find out, or we can agree on what we think confidence is and how we get there.
I've already got it.
I
want to share first.
Yeah, well, I've always been like a really confident individual.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I can give examples of me at a really young age, very confidently owning spaces. So
What what in and let's get it like right into
yeah,
what's actually going on for you in those moments. So remember those moments, and what are you present to? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are your goals?
okay.
All of that. Right now.
So what I can paint for you is in response to being told I was confident. Right? There's a time when you're so young that you don't really know what confidence is, but I was praised and told that whatever I did in that moment was confidence. You know, someone said, "Wow, he's so confident," or maybe someone said, "Remember, do it with confidence," and I would just resort to doing something the way that I had done. And I'll paint it for you now. Like a good example I can think of is when I was a boy, when I was a child. Something that my dad did with me, especially, is my dad would bring me out everywhere with him, and he would behave with me in a way that felt exactly the same as his friends. Now I know that I now know as an adult that there's a difference between the way he was engaging with me versus his friend, but I sat at the table with them all,
With the grown
with the grown-ups, and I was told from a really young age, I was invited into the conversations that were happening.
Interesting.
And I asked a lot of questions. I've always asked a lot of questions. And that was really encouraged by my mother. Recently, actually, at a barbecue, we were talking about the way that I question quite a lot as like a discovery point of view, not a I want to shut that down kind of questioning, more of a I want to learn. And she said that when I was learning to talk, a lot of the ways in which she would converse with me was with excited questioning. So it was a lot of, how are you feeling, Seb? Do you want that, Seb? What is it you're doing?
So you had space to think for yourself.
I think so. I can't know, but I'm now thinking the connection between that and then a connection between that when I was sat at a table with adults, I was free to ask questions and I was never shut down.
Yeah.
So my dad and my dad and his friends, or maybe they were godparents or uncles or whatever, I would ask about the topic, and they could be talking about sport, and I don't even know what rugby is at the time. But I would ask what rugby is, and maybe sometimes I interrupted them, so I was told.
Yeah. Well, as kids do.
Yeah, but I was never told we're talking, and then I went back to doing something. I was always told, "Great question, Seb. Let me finish my sentence." And they would finish something, and I'd be on the edge of my seat listening to the rest of their dialogue. And then eventually I'd be gifted the response of, it's this. And then the real gift was, I would ask another question and I would start talking about rugby, for example. Or maybe they were talking about, I don't know, cars, and I overheard something. I just remember always being involved and treated in a way that wasn't this small boy. I was
Kids should be
kids.
seen and not heard.
Yeah, I was treated in a very different way. And whenever we were there,
You weren't treated like an interruption or a burden or a inconvenience.
yes, and I felt safe to do everything.
Yeah.
I felt safe to question. I felt safe to interrupt.
And they respected and engaged with your question.
Yes. And when I questioned,
Wonderful.
that safety wasn't broken by being told we're talking and then I was shut down.
Yes.
I was told, your question is going to come. Let me finish my conversation. And then it came. And then there are other examples, like at a really small age, we're at that table, we're in the pub and and my dad's talking with all of his friends.
Yeah.
And then he would say, can you go and collect the bill for me? And I was unbelievably terrified in that moment, right? Like really terrified in the moment. And I would then walk across the entire pub or bar. I would ask for the bill and I would forget the number of the table. And they would say, what table number are you? And then I would say that one and point to my dad. And then I'd walk all the way back and panic and go, I don't know the table number. You go, okay. So what do you need to do? What's the table number, Dad? Table 7. And I'd walk back. And then when I returned with that bill, it was like I'd scored the World Cup goal, right? Everyone in that space would just make me feel so pumped up and great. So then the next time my dad said, get the bill, I was fine. And I don't know if that was rooted in my father trying to make a confident son.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if he just couldn't be bothered to get the bill himself.
Well,
I don't know which one.
It could be
right?
You know.
Wouldn't it be great if I can get him so confident that I can then send him off to do those things?
Yes, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
He was raising an independent son. A son who would go beyond his fear.
I think
Who would
independence.
think for himself as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really encouraging curiosity
And that was shared.
Conversation and communication.
It was shared with my sister too. My sister's an incredibly confident woman. And we were both very confident kids. And that confidence opened up lots of different avenues for us, whether that was theatre and play groups and that bleeds into what I do today, really.
So what I'm hearing, and I think there's some common themes here within my childhood too, is your confidence was nurtured. It was no accident.
Yeah.
Your confidence was nurtured.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking back to my childhood, because what I can see, where my confidence comes from, number one is my stubbornness.
Okay.
It's been my way or the highway. You asked my parents about this, and it's been that way.
Why?
My mum, one of her favorite stories this year about me is to walk to the corner store. It was about a mile, a kilometer and a half. And on the way back, I'm 2 years old, 3 years old, something like that, like small. I don't remember this, Mum does. And I asked Dad to carry me, and Dad's like, no, you can walk, mate. And so then I asked Mum to carry me, and Mum said, well, Dad said you can walk, mate, in a gentler way. Dad was blunt.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that's stuffy then. And I sat down on the gutter. This is about a kilometre and a half away from home. I sat down on the gutter. I was like, I'm not moving. Crossed my arm, sat in the gutter. That was it. And Mum and Dad walked off. Mum thinking, oh, he'll get up and follow us. Mum's at home for about 30 minutes and gone, have you seen Haydn? And Dad's like, no. And she freaked out. She gets in the car, races up the road. I haven't moved an inch. I'm in the same spot. I haven't unfolded my arms. And I got a lift home. So I had this unstoppable stubbornness from a very young age.
Okay.
And then as a teenager, I became reckless. I walk into class, and this is high school, first year high school. I walk through the door, I don't remember the subject. I look around the room, was like, I don't know anyone here. And Anthony and Aaron sitting up the back corner, and they're the quote unquote naughty boys. And they said, Hayden, you can come sit with us. And I thought, effort, let's see what happens. And that's it. That mindset stuck. From then on, if anyone asked me to do something, effort, let's see what happens. That led to copious amounts of drug and alcohol abuse, criminal behavior. Like, I was off the rails, and I lived. And I really got life can get worse than that, but in a normal Western life, not much worse than that. That's pretty
Right.
much as bad. Unless I did get sent to jail, which I didn't, or die, which I didn't. Some of my friends did. I really got like, yeah, I can just effort. Let's see what happens. And I would take things on. They terrified me. And through that was that confidence. Like,
Okay.
I could really take on anything. And if I
Okay.
set my mind to it. Yeah. Those two, I think that, and then what you were saying about that safe environment.
That's exactly where I was
That's
about to
safe.
head. Yes.
My parents, even with all that criminal behavior, drug use, there was an open door. There was a home to come home to.
Yes.
They loved me how they loved me. Mum's love was unconditional. Dad's love was dad's love. You know?
Okay.
There was food in the cupboard. There was electricity and hot water. You know? He was around. If I needed him, he was there. But he was a bit of an old school male where he just provided for the family, and the mother did all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's my interpretation of him. I think I annoyed him quite a bit as a young man too, because I was stubbornly independent. But anyway, I'm getting into hypotheticals.
That would be a fun. That's a fun podcast for another day. Yeah, that's a fun one for another day.
So that stubbornness was there already, and that the recklessness that led to confidence came in puberty, and there was an environment of love and safety ever present.
Wow.
And that's what I can see led to the confidence I have now.
It's amazing to detail the experience that we believe led to confidence.
Yeah.
And there to be such a juxtaposition between the two of us. Whereas I'm sure that if people see us in the same space, they're like, oh, these guys are so similar, they're so confident, that's why they bounce off one another. And there is a complete juxtaposition in how that confidence bloomed out of us. But what is at the heart of it was this idea of safety. Because something you said when you were describing walking into that classroom was you walked in and you went, I don't know anyone here.
Yeah.
And two people said, come join us. And that like jump towards safety potentially is put you down the path you just described, right? You were like, oh, I'm unsafe. Those people are bringing me in. There's some safety there.
It was like a need for belonging.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I don't belong here. And I can see the safety overlap.
Yeah, absolutely.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because there was, my dad's an incredibly confident guy, but he too would describe himself in a very similar way to you. So he'll come across as incredibly confident. He is confident. He owns rooms. He owns spaces. But if you ask him, does it come naturally? I think he'll say no. I think he's like, I've worked on this.
Yeah.
Because he was super nervous when he was a kid, or at least that's what he's described to me. It's like building this confidence is something I have grown and got to.
Yeah.
And because of that, he gave me the gift of, I've always had this, baby. I've always had this kind of
my kids are confident.
Sense of confidence.
Yeah.
And I've seen that when I've met your kids. They are unbelievably confident. They are so aware of how safe they are. It's unreal. Yeah. Like when I've sat with you and your wife and your kids, I've been around them and have just felt there is not an inch of worry. These kids are so They're so
That's scary for us sometimes.
yeah, totally. But they're so content with like, I'm safe here. I can do things. I've watched the story I just gave about myself going to the bar. I've watched you do it with your daughter. I've watched your daughter do the same thing. Say, can I have cake? Can I have coffee? And for her to go, for you to say, yeah, but you're going to do it on your own.
She didn't have coffee, guys.
Yeah, coffee. Yeah.
She had a baby cheese.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Sorry,
no milk. Yeah, right. I'm not dragging up my kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's definitely something there. Definitely.
Yeah, it would be challenging to develop confidence in an unsafe environment. If you're consistently at risk, danger, or feeling threatened, you are you're gonna be in fight or flight.
Totally.
You're not gonna develop confidence.
And I think I want to voice that I say that I've been so confident for so long and that I was a really confident child. But that's not to say that I didn't experience huge amounts of uncertainty, anxiety, and fear. All of those things were super prevalent when I was a kid too.
Yeah.
I believe I had the confidence that was nurtured within me to also overcome those things too. Like I had lots of anxiety, but then a little bit like yourself and my dad saying I've worked to break through that with confidence is something that came naturally too. Like I performed a lot when I was a kid, and before I took one step on the stage, it felt like my heart was going to burst. Like it felt like I was going to physically implode.
Yes.
And then to have the confidence to take that step onto the stage was like, where I am right now is safe. Out there is danger.
Yeah.
And I think confidence might be knowing you can take the step into that danger and be okay.
Yes.
That's what confidence might be. It's the same as us sitting here and going,
let's distinguish that, because I want to build that out, because I'm starting to see there's layers or levels of confidence. Because there's the confidence that I can take the step. There's the confidence that I can learn. I can't do the thing right now. I can learn how.
yes.
So there's the confidence to move and take steps, which I've definitely experienced with my public speaking, is I can speak and I can get in front of people and speak, even though it's probably the most horrifying experience in my life and I can feel every cell in my body on fire.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah.
And even though the first time I started doing that, which is about the age of 26, by the way, I avoided it like the plague before.
Right.
Even talking in, when I was manager of the pub, it was horrifying going out in front of a beer garden full of people and dealing with a rowdy football team who obviously need to go home now, because they're falling all over the place. I can do that. I think that was I can learn, I can do that. I think that was the start of confidence. And what I've noticed it evolved into is not even thinking of whether I can do it or not, simply going. And I liken it to learning to drive a car, which most grown-ups have done, not everyone. When we first go to learn to drive a car, we're in that position where we don't know how.
Oh yeah.
And we're coming from, I can learn that. I can learn how to do that. I can listen, I can practice, I can learn. And what over time, if you remember when you first drive, you're thinking about the mirrors, you're thinking about the rear view mirror.
Oh yeah.
You think about the speed and the accelerator. If you've got a manual, you've got to think about the clutch and the gear.
You're sat there going, how am I ever going to be able to do this
so
at
much,
once?
right?
Yeah.
You drive for 15 minutes, you go have a nap after, it's your fly.
I used to, after my driving lessons, I was conked out. I was like, I need to go and sleep
for 2 hours.
for 2 hours.
Yeah, I was the same.
Yeah, my mum would be like, where did you drive? I was like, I drove for like 15 miles.
Yeah. I dropped my sister off to somewhere in like 2 suburbs away, and I pulled over like, Money, I'm starting to black out. Can you take the wheel? Because otherwise I'm going to pass out here.
Yeah, totally.
And then years later, I'm driving to work and I don't even realize I'm driving to work. And I get to work like, I don't remember a thing.
Yeah.
And I've gotten there safely, and there's been traffic and streetlights and all of it, and I don't remember a thing. And that to me is true confidence. It's like
Wow.
this bell curve. We go from I can and just taking steps and practicing to this point that we don't even think about I can anymore. Like when you hop in the car, do you think, yeah, I can drive the car there. I know how to drive car. Or do you just go, this is where I'm going. I get in the car and go.
Yeah, you just get in and go, don't you?
So for me, currently at this point in my life, true confidence is no longer thinking about the thing. There's no, I can do this, or no fear at all to get over. No worry, just, okay, good. That's what we do.
Right.
It's already happened in your mind before
Okay.
you've done it.
Okay, something big showing up for me hearing you give that description. And what I'm hearing is that amongst everything we've just said, failure is a big part of that. Because we have to continually fail in order to learn. I stalled the car over and over again until I got to a point where I was like, oh, like the only reason I now stall the car is because I'm not paying attention. It's not because I don't know how, it's because I know how to do this thing so well that occasionally I don't do it. I'm not giving it my full attention. Okay. So the reason I'm bringing the idea of failure up is the idea of
It's definitely relevant.
of repeating something over and over and over again. And in order to do so means you have to suck at it. Confidence is the proof that you can, or the proof that you failed, really. Because the things that I'm not confident in, they're things that I haven't done. But because I'm a confident person, I've learned that
So being a confident person, being confident is, I can learn.
I think so.
Yeah. You're a confident guy. You have the mindset. Well, I could learn anything I could put my mind to. That's confidence.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah. And then there's let's call it having confidence. You have confidence in your driving.
Yeah.
Where you don't even think about it anymore.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I have confidence in the way that I articulate, which means that I don't sit down here and worry about how I'm talking to you.
You just talk.
I'm just talking. And there are times where I interrupt you and you interrupt me, but we're confident enough with how the two of us,
How we interact.
absolutely. So it just,
And we're not thinking about that, are we? It's just happening.
absolutely.
And at one point, we were confident enough to know we could become this type of men who could have these conversations. We didn't have the skill back then. We had the conversations enough, talking about that repetitive behavior, that now we've become the men who can have these conversations. We've become the driver.
Yeah.
We don't even have to think about it anymore. So confidence is about the becoming of something.
Okay.
Becoming a musician, becoming a speaker, becoming a plumber, once you've become it, you inherently have confidence in that thing.
Yes. And you have to have the confidence too.
Have the confidence to take the steps.
And have the confidence to try. It's a multi-layered word, really. You know, at one point, you have the confidence to take the leap of faith and you do something and you're not great at it, but you have the confidence to know that, as you were saying, you will become great at it. And then after some failures and after some results that didn't work, you keep trying.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you stand in a room and someone says, man, you're such a confident guy. And you turn around and go, I used to be terrified to work in a bar. And they don't believe it. How did that happen?
Yeah.
And yeah, you
made the mistake.
I think you got safe with failure.
Yes, definitely.
You got safe with failure.
This won't kill me. It'll make me stronger.
Yeah, I got safe with it.
I got comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw that people won't remember, unless I screw, people will only remember greatness.
Yeah.
Now, people will remember greatness, great ability or great screw ups. So as long as I don't greatly screw up and I keep working at it, they'll only have the greatness to remember.
Yeah.
And quantity produces quality. So with the quantity of application, every now and then I would do something great. You'd be like, oh, Hayden, do you remember that time you did this? And I'd be like, no, I don't remember it. They would. And they wouldn't remember all the times where I sucked, but I would.
Yeah.
I'd remember all the time.
Oh,
I sucked.
absolutely.
And so fascinating that they remember the greatness and I'd remember the suckiness. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. I think that is very interesting. I think that is.
And we get stuck in our failures from the past, and then we get stopped by potentially experiencing a failure again. We avoid some area of life like the plague.
But when what you're describing is happening, you're feeling at your least confident. So what I would like to propose to you, to me, to everyone listening, the discovery I'm taking away from our conversation is that confidence is the removal of fear. To have confidence is to remove fear. Because you walk into a room and you get to a point where you're able to remove fear from the scenario. That doesn't mean that you don't feel nervous. It doesn't mean that there isn't something you won't there won't be some kind of worry, but you're certainly removing fear. Nerves, worry.
I think true confidence would have none of that. Do you have any nerves or worry when you drive a car? There's zero, right?
Yeah, there's zero until something happens that makes you then, maybe there's
an unusual situation.
Yeah, Larry does something that makes you go, whoa, I need to re-engage, and then you turn it off.
Yeah.
So it is the complete removal of fear.
So, which then leads to develop, let's call it true confidence, for lack of a better term. And if any listener has a better term, please share it. True confidence is the removal of fear. So to develop that, you require courage.
Wow.
Courage is courage and the willingness to screw it all up.
Yeah.
Are required for confidence development.
Yeah, absolutely. They live in partnership with each other, don't they? Confidence and courage.
Yeah.
And maybe there are times where we use the two interchangeably. And if we had a better understanding and scope of how we're using that language, we would find the right kind of weight behind them. There are definitely times where I think I've been courageous, and maybe it's not been confidence in that moment. Maybe involved having some confidence to do so, but
yeah, well, so there's the confidence, I can do that, I can learn. Then there's the confidence where it's no longer something you think about. Breathing. You don't think about breathing. You're confident you can breathe.
Absolutely. And it doesn't take courage. It doesn't take courage to know you can breathe constantly. I think courage is an early step. Courage is often maybe the thing that people are struggling with most. They're calling it confidence. I have a lack of confidence. Yeah. I haven't got the confidence to do this. Change that word for courage.
Yes. Because I just saw something. I want to share it.
Go.
It's you won't know when you are confident.
Okay.
Because you're not thinking about it anymore.
Yeah.
You'll only know you're confident when someone else points it out.
Yeah.
And you'll go, oh, am I?
Absolutely.
Didn't even know I was being confident.
Absolutely.
That's confidence.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's like how I said earlier.
Yeah.
When I said, oh, I was always a confident kid. And you're like, how did you know that? Oh, I didn't know, but I was told.
Other people told you.
Other people told me I did something courageous, or I did something over and over again.
You weren't even thinking about it. You were asking questions.
I was asking questions.
You weren't thinking about it.
I was doing something that was difficult.
Confidence.
Absolutely.
So confidence is the absence of fear, doubt, insecurity. And so, for the listener, here's a question. What's the area of life you want confidence in?
Wow, big question.
And what would it be like to have what we're calling true confidence in that area.
Mm.
Where is it? And this maybe go on. Where is it? And is it you don't have confidence in that area because you're lacking courage? What would happen if you brought courage to that area you want confidence in? And what would that look like to be
Yes.
courageous?
What is it you need to be courageous in that allows you to then practice
Make all the mistakes
and then
learn all the
get
lessons
to confidence?
to the point of mastery where you no longer think about it.
What is that moment for everybody? If you're listening to this, what is the moment right now that you need?
Moment, or what is the area of
The
life?
area
Yeah,
of
pick an
life.
area of
Yeah, pick an area of life rather than a particular moment. What is the area of life that springs to mind immediately that you need, I'm saying that in speech marks, need the courage to go and address? What
You don't say
wizard?
need.
Yeah,
That's-
I don't like the word need.
No, it's desperation. We don't want that.
So let's rephrase that
If you-
powerful statement.
Yeah. If you created courage and you chose to be courageous in that area of life, what would become available? What could you cause? What's the future that would open up for you? What would it be like to get to the point where you have true confidence, where you no longer even think about it? And actually, I thought about this the other day. Don't remember who I was in conversation with, but I was on a webinar and they were talking about what's an area of life you want confidence in, funnily enough. And I thought public speaking, because sometimes when I get up to speak and I'm in front of a group of people, I totally lose myself and forget what I'm even saying. And I start racing, my heart rate increases and I can feel my blood pumping. And then I'm no longer having a conversation with an audience or listener. I'm now just speaking at people,
Okay,
whatever
yeah.
comes to mind, and I race to the end of my speech. And that doesn't work for me. And I thought, what would it be like to have true confidence in that area? And then I thought, maybe I don't want that. What would a roller coaster be without the ups and the downs? It would be smooth sailing. And I know that at some point, smooth sailing becomes boring. Like driving a car when it was so fresh and new and exciting, at some point just becomes, oh, no, I have to drive there. Oh, it's so far away. Oh, it's a hot day. I have to drive.
Yeah.
If I had that with my speaking, that true confidence where I no longer feel anything, is that actually what I want in public speaking? And I thought, no, that's probably not what I want. I like how the nerves get turned into excitement.
Yes.
And when I give a powerful speech, even when I'm feeling all this stuff, after it, I'm like, oh, I felt so alive. That felt amazing. I feel empowered. I want to take on the next thing. So maybe
It echoes what I was saying about being on the edge of that stage. I had full confidence that when I stood on that stage, that the feeling I had right now would turn into something else, and it did every time.
evolved, right?
Every
Yes.
time.
Yes.
And I think the moment that I would have stood there, I haven't done that in so long that I think if I stood on the edge of a stage now, ready to perform in any way other than what I do every day with my work, I think that feeling that I'm talking about, it would be a blazing fire in me. And I think
It's
that
so
it would
alive,
be, it would
isn't
be
it?
close to me going, I am close to being scared, but I've done this so many times and I know I'd be working for that drive that the moment that I took that step, that feeling would become a rush. It would move into something else. So I think you're right
alive, feeling alive. I like to call that.
absolutely to question what we're calling true confidence is we're not there yet, because I think that confidence of driving a car is a different confidence to the one that requires that transformational feeling that is there, and then the moment you speak, it flips.
And it's like
It flips and it turns into something
the
else.
stars, doesn't it? There's this.
Because what we're talking about there is a moment of courage that results in confidence. Because I'm stood at the end, I'm scared, I'm terrified, I'm nervous, but
And you go beyond
I
it.
still have the courage to break through it. And then when I've broken through it, I move from courage into confidence. Because when I'm there on the stage, I wasn't courageous. Let's put this into my work. I still have that feeling when everyone's networking and talking before I do my opening note or my opening introduction before an activity. I'm still there going, oh, the heart is racing. I'm getting that fun feeling. I'm nervous. And I have two options. I have the option to not do it, or I have the option to take it on. And you use courage to take you over there, and you move from courage into that flow of confidence we've been talking about. Because from then, the moment that I open my mouth, I'm confident that it's going to be great.
I call that feeling alive.
Yeah.
I think it's most fully alive. You can literally feel every cell in your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like electrical, you know, you're humming. And there's that like that dynamic relationship between you and the audience, and it seems like the rest of the world disappears.
Oh, it does.
Especially if you're good at your craft. You know, if you suck, that might not happen. But
Yeah,
it might be there for you, and not for you and the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, there's just like the world disappears, and there's this magical moment going on. This transference of energy.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
I like what we've got to. I really feel that we've uncovered something today.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we're all the way there yet.
I don't think so. I think we could definitely spend another hour doing it.
Maybe that's not the goal.
What I'd like to do is we come close to the end of our hour.
Yeah.
Is I'd like for us to create an invitation to everyone listening. We started that, but I'd really like for everyone listening, I'd like us to invite you to take this podcast, this conversation, this hour as the invitation to be courageous. I want
Can I
this
ask
to
some
be that.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
And along those lines is look into your life and look at the areas. You know, you've got spirituality, you've got love life, you've got intimacy, you've got work, you've got fun, you've got leisure, you've got exercise and health and family. Look at the areas where confidence is present
Okay.
and look at what it took you to get there. Because I would say with every person, there are areas of life where you are confident. And if you just took the courage you brought to that area of life to become confident into any other area of life, and you took similar steps, I'm sure you studied that area, learned about it, spoke to people, took uncomfortable actions, faced your fear. If you brought that to any other area of life, I guarantee you, and I'm putting my word on the line here, that you could develop confidence in any area of life.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So I'd say just look at the areas where you're already confident or you're already being courageous. Look at the impact it's having on you in your life and think about how you could bring that to other areas that are important to you and share with us what you see. I'd love to hear from you.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
Please.
And another note, I think this is important, but you mentioned failure, and I'm sure that triggered everyone.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do an episode on that.
We have to.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
actually, conversation in of itself.
It really, really is. That failure feels like the appropriate
so-
follow-up to this, because I don't think I know. I know that
You're confident that-
I am confident. I'm confident that failure and safety are rooted in courage and confidence. I think they absolutely are.
Okay, yeah, we will do an episode.
We'll do an episode on that.
'Cause we could talk for
We could talk for another hour on
We're
it.
not going to.
No. What a great conversation, Hayden.
It was a great conversation.
Really good.
Should we summarize?
I think so.
Yeah, you summarize. What have we got? What have we come to?
I think what I've come to, and I think you can add on, is that confidence isn't something that you do. Confidence is something that you become.
Yes, I love that.
And some of the steps that take you to get there include having the courage to leap and being safe with failure to try over and over again to a point where people tell you you're confident.
That's when you know you've made it.
That's when
You are-
someone tells you, that's when you've done it. I don't walk into a space and say, I'm so confident. The people who do that
That'd be weird.
probably aren't. It's when someone introduces you, the way that you introduced myself, and the way that I introduced you, you sit back and go, oh, thank you. That's confidence. And it's allowed to waver. It's not always as strong as it might be today or tomorrow or last year, but it exists as a product of having the courage to make the leap,
Take the steps. Yeah.
and then being okay and safe in the failures that it's going to take to get to a point of true confidence.
Yeah, cool.
That was confidence.
Beautiful.
Great
Beautiful
conversation.
summary. Yeah, great conversation.
Great conversation.
Awesome, man.
Okay. It was a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for listening. Look forward to being with you soon. You too, Seb. And I won't think, hurry up, you're boring everyone. If you introduce me again, all right, we can have a conversation.
Yeah, we will.
Whatever's going on there.
And I'll work really, really hard to just speed it up a little bit.
Oh, whatever. We'll work it out.
Oh, cool. Until next time.
Until next time.